Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Veronica Burnett, and today is a special edition of Coffee, Tea, and Me. And I'm so excited because today I get to talk to some co authors of a book. It's called, oh Lord, The Heart of a Leader. And I think there's going to be a phenomenal book, and I think the ladies are going to have much to share with you. It's about being a leader in different facets of life, and so I know that you will enjoy and learn much about them. So, again, I am Veronica Burnett. I'm a speaker, advocate, coach for healthy relationships. I am the creator of the Better Days Conference series, and I am the host and creator of Coffee, Tea, and Me. So if you have not been a part of Coffee, Tea, and Me, you can always find me on Instagram and on Facebook, and you can sign up. You can go to my website at veronicaburnett.com and sign up there to join my newsletter. You can always go to Coffee, Tea, and Me. It is Better Days, coffeeteame.eventbrite.com. We host the Coffee, Tea, and Me every second and fourth Saturday of the month. I created Coffee, Tea, and Me as a safe space for women to come together and talk about various issues concerning them. And so we don't just sit and talk about it and complain. We leave with solutions. We leave with ways to live our lives better. And we leave with tools that we can share with the next generation. So if you haven't joined me, please do so. You will love it. It is a safe space. So we host it on Zoom. And when you come into the room, I promise you, you will feel loved, you will feel respected, you will know that you are in a safe space to share your heart with us. My promise to all of my clients and anyone who works with me is that I will always be transparent, always be honest, and always respect them and their views. And that is what we do. And I do my best to over deliver with any of my services, with any of my coaching practices. So, now, with that said, I am going to bring on two of the authors of the. Why do I keep forgetting this? I can't believe I keep forgetting this. It is the heart of a leader. I have seen this so much, and this should be ingrained in me. The heart of a leader. So I'm going to bring on Miss Simene Walden, better known as the student teacher. And I'm bringing in Miss Mavis Creagh, who is one of the co-authors. The others will be joining us soon. So here we go. I'm going to read just a little bit, an excerpt of what Miss Simone sent me about this book and about the ladies. So it is Maryland meets Mississippi with a sauce of Texas. So she's going to tell you the details of that, but this book has authors from different time zones, okay, coming together to put this book together just for you. The student teacher, Miss Simene, is the spearheader of this project anthology. And it's for women who live in states of Maryland and Mississippi who co-authored and foreword author resides in Texas. So the foreword of the author of the book resides in Texas. Why am I nervous? These powerful voices hold responsibilities in a myriad of arenas. This anthology is the novice leader all the way to the senior leader looking to continually grow as a leader. So it is for the novice leader all the way up to the senior leader. So everybody from the beginning to the end and everybody in between can benefit from this book. These ladies share leadership stories, lessons learned, character building qualities, things you can implement in your life to avoid pitfalls, hangups, and roadblocks, as well as real life accounts of people behind the roles they carry out. So let us welcome to Coffee, Tea, and Me, Miss Simene Walden and Miss Mavis Creagh. I wish I had the clapping sound in the background for you ladies because you deserve it. Well done. Simene, I'm going to talk to you so you can tell us a little bit about the book, and then we're going to talk to Miss Creagh and find out why she decided to get in on this now. So, Simene, take it away.
Oh, thank you, Veronica, for having us up here. I really, really appreciate it. And then, we had our hour before the show conversation last night where it really like helped me and you spoke life into me. So thank you so much. What was your question? Because I'm thanking you.
Okay, tell us about you, who you are, and why you put together this anthology, The Heart of a Leader.
Okay, so I'm Simene. I go by the student teacher. I'm an educator, and I help educators and leaders tell their story. So I help people publish and write their books. And so initially, this book was called The Heart of a Teacher. And when I did an anthology masterclass, I think it may be in like October, November, Mavis signed up, and two of the other ladies who's a part signed up. And I told myself I'm having an anthology coming out called The Heart of a Teacher. And in the process of that, the Lord changed and said, no, it's the heart of a leader. And initially it was open up to everybody. And one day I was laying across the bed and I heard him say Maryland meets Mississippi, because by that time it was authors who had signed up for Maryland and authors who had signed up for Mississippi. So I said, okay. So then I had to go back and tell those who were interested, like, you're not from Maryland or Mississippi, I'm sorry, this is now the direction that we're going to. So that's how it all came to be. Just people from different walks of life, because a lot of times people think you need a title to lead, and you don't necessarily need a title to lead. I heard one of the mothers tell me a while ago, if you need a title to do the work, you don't need the title, right? You can do the work without the title, and the titles will eventually come because people will see you operating in that arena. So that's pretty much how the this anthology came to be.
So, it had to be Maryland and Mississippi. I mean, that's very specific. Very, very, very specific. Wow. All right. So, Miss Creagh, tell us.
Yes.
Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my first time meeting her, and she is a sweetheart lady. She is a really nice lady. I really like her. Her heart is just pure, and I can feel that just from talking to you. Um, Tell us why you jumped on board, because you're not in
I'm
this
from Mississippi.
Mississippi. Okay. So tell us why you decided to join this. Because, like she said, she started out as the book started out as the heart of a teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heart of a leader. So tell us why you decided to be a part of it and what your chapter is about.
Well, first of all, I love Simene. Her spirit, she do them late night, late night lies in the word. She's staying boldly on the word, but it's unconventional. I think a lot of times when we talk about people who are ministering, we think they need their habits on, going down the street. I'm just being real honest. But how is that applicable to the world? Some stuff is antiquated. And so when I think of Simone, I think of a revolutionary missionary, like a revolutionary missionary. She reminded me a lot of my best friend,
Mhm.
because I remember she used to have a small Bible in her back pocket,
Oh,
and
wow.
she would go and talk to some of anybody, the people that people, cast aside, the people that, people thought were dirty, and she would just talk to them where they was, not fixed up, not trying to make themselves sound big or important. And she has that in her spirit of to meet people where they are and to continue to shine a light. So that really was it was because of her and because of her faithfulness. And I don't know who this is for, but if God is telling you to do something, the creator, and you're wondering how will it turn out? What will the other side look like? What is the purpose? What is the plan? He's preparing you for your purpose. And so just stay in the race and stay faithful to what the little, I think, of the mustard seed that you've been given. And it can happen just like that. A whole breakthrough, a new season, a new change. And you so worried about right now. right now, what is happening right now, how is it going to work out right now, and it's really preparing you for your purpose for that next season, for that new growth, for that new development, for that new business, the new marriage, the newness. But you so focused on, well, why is it working like this right now? Why am I having to take these steps like right now? And because it's preparing you for your purpose. So that is the long and short of Simene. God was preparing you for your purpose, which was to have us partner and join in this work. Because the ladies from Mississippi, I know all of them. They might, faithful in the faith. And I just said, hey, I think this is something that y'all need to be a part of. This is something that I feel like will be beneficial for where God is taking you for your next. So you just never know. If I would not have connected with Simene and she with me and being faithful to the calling and to the mission that she's been given, and if I had not planted seeds with the other ladies years and years, being faithful to my calling and them seeing my walk and different things, then it would not have happened. So continue the walk towards your purpose. So that's why.
Listen, can I just say you spoke a whole word just now?
The whole word.
We can just end the broadcast right there, okay? Wow, I love this. I was just telling Simone the other day, yesterday, last night, I don't know. My days run together. And I was telling her that because of her heart for doing what she does, like she hears and she acts on it. And like you said, you don't always know the end results. You just know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do today. And if it needs to change up, then okay, I'll change that up. But I'm going to keep walking and moving forward, but her heart for it is just so pure. So I told her she's like one of a handful of people who can say, Veronica, I need you to do something. And I'm just like, okay, when, where, how? Just tell me when, what do I need to do? Tell me what I need to say. And that's what I'm going to do, because I know that she's not going to lead me to a place where if she says jump off the side of this building, she's already convinced and know that there's something at the bottom that's going to catch us. So I'm jumping too. But that's a person that is a leader in their heart, not somebody who has to be puffed up, not somebody that needs a name or a title, but just someone who has that heart for being that leader. And it shows on the outside. It shows in how you communicate with people who follow you. It shows in how you present yourself and the work that you put out there. And she does it with excellence. Whatever hiccups that come in the background, we don't know about, but we follow along because we know that it's going to be good, because the idea came from the good man upstairs, right? Um, I love the fact that you, okay, I'm sorry, I was reading the comment. I love the fact that you said that if you hadn't been planting seeds in the other ladies' lives like you do and being faithful in your walk, then they wouldn't have been able to trust you and know that it's okay to follow you. So tell us about what you do and how you serve and how you lead, and if that makes sense.
Yes. I currently serve as the executive director of a nonprofit, R3SM, which stands for Recover, Rebuild, Restore Southeast Mississippi. We were an organization that was started after Hurricane Katrina to rebuild families, houses, and communities. Now we cover about 14 counties in Mississippi, southern counties. And I've been with the agency for over 10 years. I started out as a case manager. And along my journey, I ended up as the executive director through different seasons. We have different seasons in our lives. And sometimes we jump off the train in the low season, and God is telling us to stay on the tracks. And so I'm thankful that I stayed on the tracks and then jump off prematurely in that season. Also, I recently just started my own consulting company, Mavis Consulting, to help people develop their brand, their business, and their mission to move forward with editing, content development, and We Women Ministries, another ministry that I started, a nonprofit, to help women who are in transitions in their lives as well. So that's who I be.
That's who you be. You wear a lot of hats, ma'am. How do you wait, before I get to that question. You talked about not jumping off the track.
Mm-hmm.
What helped you to stay on track?
Um, God told me it was gonna be okay. And it was going, I would tell myself when I would wake up in the lowest points, business and life, and I would say when somebody asks, well, what's going on and stuff, and I would say it's gonna work out how it's supposed to work out. And that was in my spirit so deep that it's gonna work out how it's supposed to work out because I know what had been promised to me. That I didn't know how it was gonna work out. I didn't know how it was gonna turn around. I didn't know what the situation would hold. And this is like, when you press your back is against the wall, you in the corner, nothing is working out. And matter of fact, the enemy is sending his best chief demons, the word, the stew out of you, in those seasons. Not the ones, the regular ones that just got the low position, but the ones with high ranking positions that are sent to destroy the mission. When those come on the scene, it's something in store. You know that it is not a ordinary purpose. I don't know who it is for today. It is not an ordinary purpose when the enemy sends his best assignment. Oh, I feel it in my spirit. It is not an ordinary purpose when the enemy sends his best assignments.
Go ahead on and preach, ma'am. Just go ahead.
Yeah, just go ahead. We're just gonna let you have the floor.
Yeah.
That's why, just to not jump off the tracks and to stay focused and to trust the Father in all situations.
Wow.
Have anything to say?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you add to that? Wow. Veronica, what Mavis said, and I done said this to her publicly and I said this to her privately, but if it wasn't for Mavis, those Mississippi women would not have connected to this book. And sometimes it's not even about who we know. I say this all the time. John Maxwell said, I went to a program here he did maybe 5 years ago when I first came. He says, if you're a leader and nobody's following you, you're just taking a walk. And he says, whenever I meet somebody, I always say, who do you know that I need to know? And so it wasn't necessarily about the people that I needed to know. It was the people that I was connected to who could connect me with other people. And that's exactly what she did. And so when I think about leadership, even though she is in the nonprofit sector, she's a leader in ministry. She's a leader with women, and she can connect the right people together. And I'm so thankful. And so when you start thinking about, different projects that you're going to do, and I think about the heart of a leader, right? That's people that are in action. You see what they do, and while she may not say a leader with we women ministries, right? You see that through her actions. You see that through what she's saying. And a lot of times, even though we are the forefronters or the visionaries of it, we also need the people that's going to come and lift up our arms and lift up our shoulders. And she has been one of the biggest arm lifters for this project, and it gives me more and more courage every time. It's like, you're gonna do it. And sometimes you, as a leader, you have to lead, and show the way. And then sometimes he'll send, other people alongside of you in the project to also step up and be a leader, where sometimes you kind of you're not going as fast, or you're not leading, or there may be areas that you're not as versed in. And I'm so thankful for her, because she has these leadership skills to say, hey, listen, this is some things that we can do. It's a collaborative effort. And I'm just so very grateful. So as she's talking now, and of course, this wasn't prepared for us. It's just a genuine flow. And that's what a leader does. A leader can step up and flow and move in the areas that they see. It's like they can kind of see something that you don't see and say, hey, let me come and lift her. Hey, let me, help her. Let me say this. And so I think that this is going to be, it's going to be more than exactly what I thought it would be. All the projects turned out to be like that. And so I'm just grateful that I have women who who are truly leaders in their own right. So that's all I got.
Let me go back to some. Thank you, Simene. Let me go back to something that you said. Because I actually have two questions, so either of you can answer the two, but I want to ask them before I forget them. Because this can go in any direction right now. So you said, I'm going to ask my first one, the second one. How do you develop the muscle that you have to be a good and effective leader? That's the first one, and this one doesn't have anything to do with it. But the second one is, you said, who do you know that I need to know? I think that is such a powerful question because we don't ask. We think that, oh, I'm doing this work and it's just all supposed to fall into place. But there are people out there divinely assigned to you to help you. But if you don't open your mouth, they may not know, or you may need to ask and talk to a person that can lead you to that person that helps you. I think that is so powerful that you did that, and that Miss Creagh was like, hey, I got you. I'm going to help you. And I know people because I'm connected to people. That is being so selfless. And I love that about the both of you. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, ask the question, who do you know that I need to know? And not doing this being selfishly, but do this and then know that you need to be able to help somebody else. When you meet that person that is supposed to help you, you be that person for somebody else. So my question was, how do you develop this heart of a leader? I know that there are some mechanics to it, but then there's a spiritual, heartfelt passion side of it. So either of you or both of you can answer the question, please.
All right. So maybe maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was just in here cleaning and worshiping, and the Lord had gave me a word for the ladies, and I went to come and record and send it to them, and then I did. And Veronica, when we did a mute, like if God would give me something as far as like praying and stuff, that I would always share it with you ladies. And so I was able to send it to him last week, and one thing he was sharing to me is that
Uh-oh. All right. So Miss Simene, when you come back in, you can finish your thought. All right, Miss Creagh.
Uh, the muscle, hey, darling, we got us an assistant today, a bright
Yes.
and brilliant assistant. I love it.
Listen, she comes in on coffee, tea, and me whenever I allow her to, and she soaks up
we lead
every
like Christ.
all the information that she can get, and she uses it. And so now she's asking me questions like, can you tell me how to start this business, and tell me step by step? And when I tell her, you have to do this, like you have to create your product and you have to talk about your products, she hears it and she acts on it. And I'm not telling her something that I just know, I'm telling her things that I learned so that she can implement this today. And the lady right here, Miss Simene, she loves Miss Simene. Anybody
Awesome.
that can get this little girl to write, you are right in my book. So, oh yes, she wanted me to show you. She has her own little line, Shelby Rose Accessories, and so she's making friendship bracelets and little friendship rings. And she
Well,
about it now. Like she tells them about her Facebook page and what she has going on, and now she's trying to take orders because she's serious. She is.
well, we would definitely love to support her business. I got nieces and young ladies, so we would love to support her business. Miss Simile, we didn't hear you good.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know what happened. I think it's the
All right.
enemy. I was saying that what the Lord told me was to lead like Christ. And so as we're leading like him, we're following him, then we can be the examples to other people. And so part of leading, developing the heart of a leader, it comes with our heart purely being developed by God. And when you start walking in the attributes of him, you don't become intimidated, you don't become frustrated when you see other people in the same vein or same lane as you, and you realize, okay, this is a strong point for me. I can really lead in this area, but there's also some weaknesses that I have. So let me pull other people alongside of me, or let me link up with other people who have those strengths. Let me be coached or mentored by somebody who has those strengths so I can develop that muscle in me. And so the first thing I would say is that we definitely have to lead like Christ, and then find other people who are leading in the areas that you want to lead in. And you can, for some people, you may invest to, for them to be your coach or into a program, or it may be somebody that you watch their lives, you attend their events, you read their books, you study from afar so you can see how they're doing it, and then go back to God and ask God, how can I tailor this to what you have called me to do? Because I believe we can learn something from anybody, good or bad. We learn what not to do. We learn what to do. We learn what to avoid. We learn what we should be putting our feet forward to do. But ultimately is seeing how God led, seeing how Jesus led. What did he do? How did he teach people? How did he respond to people? How did he love people? How did he interact with people? And let that be our foundation for how we want to interact with other people. And so I believe that's how you develop the heart of a leader.
Great, great. One of the things that you said was to see other people who are doing what you're doing. It's interesting you say that. I hope the little girl heard you, because I said that to her the other day. She's like, "Well, mommy, how am I supposed to be like this person or these people?" She was comparing herself to her friends, and she said that she wanted to have like the same type of behavior that they have. And I said, hey, when you see something in another person that you know is good and can benefit you, you study that. You study that in that person. You ask them questions, and then you see how you can apply that to your life. And I'm so glad you confirmed that. You second that for me. And, I think that with that, it's it doesn't say that you're less of a person. It's saying that you want to be better. And I'm sorry about the noise, y'all. But you want to be a better person. And so you're doing what you need to do to make yourself a better person, a better leader, a better whatever it is. It's studying in whatever way and capacity that you have to. So I'm so glad you said that. Mavis, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
I think Simene cleared the floor with it. She cleared the floor with it. Just you can learn something from anybody. I think that's the biggest thing that I have learned, positive or negative. And nobody is perfect. That's the biggest thing that I've seen. You know, to have a leader who thinks that they are perfect, that they are above reproach. Um, that's a leader that I don't want to follow up under. I don't want to even be connected to you because your perspective is skewed. So anytime that I feel like I know everything or I get into that mind frame, gotta pull my little coattail and say, no, you don't know everything. You can learn from even from somebody you might not even think. So I think that's the biggest that you should be learning daily to perfect your craft.
That's good right there. Um, so tell me more about your chapter in the book.
Well, I've been in the nonprofit uh arena. This would be, I think, 13 years. I've been with R3SM. So I've seen the good and not so good. We've had different seasons and transitions um, with the agency. Um, I learned that I wanted to be a leader that that wanted other people to grow. You ever met leaders who feel like as long as you're in a certain position, then you're okay. But as far as giving you tools and knowledge to develop you, is like that doesn't come from them because that was the most important thing. So anybody who I'm connected to, I'm always trying to push them to grow, to develop. And even if you grow and you go on to something else that's not with me, that's okay, because that's the plan of the Father. So I always want other people to pursue their purpose, to grow and develop, even if that means that they're not on my team anymore. I'm okay with that, because I know that we don't own anybody. Everybody have a purpose that's been given to them. And so that's really one of the main things of the perspective of a leader, and how sometimes your perspective have to shift in different seasons. If you're not flexible, if you're not able to navigate systems, that's in any leadership position, then it's easy to become stagnant. It's easy to become stagnant and ineffective. That's what I would say.
Mhm. I like that. You can't become rigid. You have to be willing to shift your perspective. I love that. Um, and the fact that we don't own people. You answered my next question. Um, how do you feel when you have grown to the point where they have outgrown you and they're moving on? I think for me, in my mind, it feels like they've they've completed their assignment with you and you've served your purpose with them. But what are your deeper thoughts on that when they've outgrown?
Um, I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't the One of the main things that I have learned in leadership and even in serving is that you cannot take stuff personally.
Mm-hmm.
If you take if you wear your emotions on your sleeve, if you are so emotionally wound, you get distracted and you get off focus.
Mm-hmm.
It's some people in leadership that I really don't particularly care for their attitudes, how they interact, what they do, how they treat people.
Mm-hmm.
But it will be foolish of me to let my emotions override my assignment. Who is that for today? It would be foolish of you to let your emotions override your assignment, because at the end of the day, the purpose that has been given to you, that purpose don't change depending on who you emotionally feel.
I'm taking notes right now. Wow, you would be foolish to let your emotions override your assignment. Ooh, I think we do get so invested in it that we feel like it's ours. And no, you are just carrying out the work and the assignment given to you by the Father or whomever is over you at that time, even in the workplace. I love that. Don't be, listen, ladies and gentlemen, don't be foolish. If you are watching us, share this broadcast. You are getting some really, really good nuggets from an amazing leader. I'm just meeting her today, but she is full of wisdom, Miss Mavis Creagh. And go back and watch the broadcast so you can pick up all the gems in the beginning. We're going to keep going. Um, for the novice leader out there, someone who's thinking that maybe they could be in leadership position, but they are not quite confident that that's the direction that they should be going, what would you say to that person?
Well, since I've had different scopes, I started out as a caseworker with R3SM after Hurricane Katrina, and I ended up having some of the most difficult cases, because it was ran in grant cycles. And so we started out with a really, really large group of caseworkers, about almost 25 plus people in different counties. And then as the grant cycles, how it goes with grants and stuff, as it winds down in the different cycles, it ended up being maybe about two or three of us out of maybe about 25 caseworkers. So just imagine that over time and having to deal with that. And, these are people who are your friends. You've grown to love them and had fellowship with them and stuff. But you end up getting staying every time they let people go. And, that was something that I had to deal with, because I felt at first bad because I was the one who got killed. But God told me that's your assignment. And I ended up with some of the most difficult cases um, during that time, and ended up being, I believe, one of the last case managers to finish that program out. So as a caseworker, but over time, our agency was going through different transitions. That's the best. That's the nice way you put it when you about to bottom out transitions. Um, and just by fate, by divine order, I ended up being the interim director. Um, I was left with no blueprint. I was from a caseworker or a supervisor, that part of it, the programmatic side of it, to being an interim director, trying to maintain a whole agency with me and my construction manager and a few board members, going from a robust agency, 30 employees, to only about 2 employees with a few board members who were hanging on for dear life,
Wow.
and having to premise in my mind that this is what we're going to do. We're not going to let the agency die. We're not going to let the mission and vision collapse, because also we have a 10,000 square foot historic volunteer house that can house up to 60 volunteers. Our offices are in the building. Um, you know, fully restored historic building, a full community asset for a lot of different purposes. And the only thing I could think of was we cannot let the building, go, because so much has been put into it, so many sacrifices. And so the thing in my mind was I got to hit the ground running. You know, I don't have any tools that's been given to me as far as leadership and how to manage a nonprofit or be a director. But that means I have to learn, and I have to learn fast, or we're going to crash. So I was really put in a situation where it was fight or flight, a situation. And so every training that they had, and the stuff one virtual then. So it wasn't a lot of trainings in our area. So most of them were like an hour, 2 hours away each way. So I can remember sometime going to the coastal area of Mississippi for trainings, one day a week, and then going to our capital about an hour and a half the other way, 2 hours, another day a week, in rotation to any trainings that I could, trying to immerse myself and learn as fast as possible from the things that I did not know. And then studying and going back from records and different stuff like that. So I just had to learn, and I had to get it. So really, if somebody wants to be put into a leadership position, you're going to have to do the work. The reality of it is most people who already are in leadership positions ain't trying to teach you everything. I'm just being honest. They either don't have the time, don't have the resources, and a lot, just to be honest, feel like I got my position. Why I'm trying to get you into a position so you can take over my position. That's not a good way to think, but I'm just being honest. Most people, unless they're not investing in you, how would that benefit them to teach you how to be a leader?
I like that. Do the work.
Do the work.
It sounds like you basically got baptized by fire. Like you said, either fight or flight. Just do it, and you were determined to learn what you needed to learn to be successful in this position, and then to just be thrust into an interim executive director position. I'm sure that was um, unsettling for a moment, but it sounds like you bounced back really quickly and just took hold of it, and you took ownership of it and just did what you needed to do. So where's the organization now? How are things going now?
We are better than we ever I could have ever imagined. In the last about 4 years, we have put back close to $6 million into the community, and that's 30 new constructions from the ground up from the 17 tornado that came through Mississippi, and also over 100 plus repairs and major rehab projects throughout the southern part of Mississippi. If I would not have, like I was saying, jumping off the tracks, if I would have jumped off the tracks prematurely, then when the storm happened, when the storm hit in 17, I would not, the resources that were available had not been made available before then. But because the catastrophe was so large and great, the outpouring of resources came on a level that hadn't before. And so that's through volunteer labor and donations from the community. And we were able to put that back directly into our community. So the agency is doing very well now. It has really turned the corner. We were able to, by miracles and God's grace, able to pay the building off. So to pay the building off last year. So I'm thankful and grateful, and I look forward to what's in store.
That's amazing. Awesome. And kudos to you and your team. Awesome. Awesome. Um, so for the no okay, so you just addressed the novice leader. So how does one take leadership skills that they are learning on their job or in a different project and take those and transition to their own projects because you do have your own projects going. You do have your own nonprofits. So how do you take those and transfer them into something for yourself?
I think someone said, to eat the fish and spit the bones out. I think that's the best way, the best approach. Um, because if it's a business for yourself, I guess me, since I've had to do so much on my own with the nonprofit, even though it's not technically my business, I've had to run it like my own business. So that has helped me. Because some people think that when you go into your own business, you take days off is a break. That don't that's not how it works. And so you really have to have that heart and determination that it's gonna work out how it needs to work out. But that means when other people are taking vacations, when you're starting out, when other people are taking vacations, when other people are asleep at 11 o'clock, um, especially if you work in a regular job and then also starting your own business, it's like you have two jobs. So that means you have to be more purposeful with your time, your research, your resources, your energy and your efforts, um, just to be focused and have a plan perspective on what you're trying to do. And that there's no time for, I guess, like you say, foolishness. There's really no time for any extra that is not benefiting your purpose.
I like that. Build and be purposeful with your resources. I love that. Um,
Mhm.
sometimes we think we're supposed to, if this organization did it this way with every single letter, I'm supposed to do the same thing over here. But not everything is for everybody in every situation. So, like you said, eat the fish and spit out the bones. Um, take what's for you and what you know can help and build your business and your projects. And then the rest of it, like I tell people in on my newsletter, if this isn't specifically for you, keep it, store it, and share it with somebody else because it may help the next person. And it may not be for you personally. So for the seasoned leader, what would you suggest for them? Not necessarily scaling up and moving forward, but those who are following them or watching them. So, what would you share as a seasoned leader? What would you share with them?
It's okay to step back sometimes. It's okay to take breaks. Self-care is very important. That's something that I'm learning. Um, Rome was not built in a day. So all the problems of the agency, organization, church is not going to be solved in one day. So the idea that I have to do everything right now is not functional, nor does it serve the purpose of, you know, it doesn't serve you well because you end up getting burnt out and then you'll become, it's easy to become ineffective, and and then you don't want to become that leader who no one wants to work with because you frustrated all the time, you complaining all the time, you always are griping because you haven't allowed yourself to take a break. So it's okay to step back. It's okay to designate duties that other people can be assigned. It's okay to do that, because ultimately what you want to do is to be able to train leaders. That's the ultimate goal, is to be able to train future leaders to be in your position or other positions and be effective. And how are you going to be able to train them if you do everything yourself?
Exactly. It doesn't leave you time and space to even create something else for yourself or for the business if you're trying to do everything yourself. Um, One of the things that I think about is the, like we talk about the heart of a leader, the seasoned leader. What is the, I guess, the mental or emotional state that that person needs to have? And I'm asking because I've experienced leadership where it feels like the thumb is just on me, and I don't like that. Like, I'm so not the one to be micromanaged. And so what, I don't know how to state it without being negative. But what would you say to those leaders who don't have the qualities that can lead to effective and efficient businesses? So what, or teams? Like, how do, what do you say to them?
Some Everybody have a different personality on how they lead and how they manage. My personality is laid back. Some people might feel like it's too laid back, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna worry me. That's what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna worry me. You're not gonna cause me undue stress. I already have enough that's going on. You're not gonna worry me. So it takes more out of me to be over your back all the time. It takes more out of me to send random emails after I asked you already to do something. Why are you sending up follow up stuff the same day? The same, just like, I truly believe people, as long as people get the work done and produce, however they do it, is how they do it. And everybody mind is different and is on a different rate. And to trust whoever's working under you enough that they're competent and capable of their assignment. I think that's the biggest thing, to really trust who you have on your team, and to know that they have the same vision and mission, as that they're moving toward the same vision and mission. I think that's the foundation. Do you trust who you have on your team? And if you don't trust them enough to do the assignment, then you need to have some type of shift, or have a meeting, or to a reset, to see why you don't trust them to do the work. And then to have an internal conversation with yourself as a seasoned leader of what other issues am I dealing with that I'm bringing to the workplace? Are there things that I need to deal with emotionally, personally, spiritually, that I'm bringing to the workplace? And it's lapping and carrying over. And sometimes I don't think people really want to discuss that part of it, how when your other parts of your lives are off and not in alignment, when you go to work, it seems like they get all the brunt of those emotions. And that's something I learned early on that I did not want to do when I had different stuff going on in my life and with my life, that the people who work for me and with me as my team, that I didn't want to let that spill and carry over, because at the end of the day, you there for to do a job. You there to, a former leader I had said, you there to produce, even if you're not making a product. But at the end of the day, you there to produce something. You dare to produce a relationship. You dare to build a brand. And that's the focus. You dare to produce. So whatever you're doing that's not producing needs to be reevaluated. Some people just have power trips too, and that's just the best way to put it. Some people, they have control issues, power issues, and so they purpose in life is to make your life miserable. And that's something that they need to work on. Some people just need to have a self-evaluation on why do I feel like I have to do it this way all the time?
I like I like that you said about assessing your emotional state outside of work, because a lot of times it does spill over to work. And I hope I'm gonna say this right. There was someone speaking before, and I never remember names and resource and sources, so I'm just gonna paraphrase. But wherever you are, you're there. So if there's a situation that's going on in one place and you're all disgruntled there, when you if you have not resolved it where it started, you take that same disgruntled person into the next situation. So you have to deal with whatever it is that's going on inside and outside of your life before you go into another space. And that even means going to your place of work. Don't take it there and take it out on your children, on your staff. But I also love that you said trust. And I put two of your sentences together. Trust that they can produce, because your team needs to be able to produce. And you need to be able to trust them. That is a great place for a leader to start. I think you've given so many valuable nuggets for the novice, the building stage, and for the seasoned leader. I hope that, people are watching and that you're taking notes and applying this to your life where it's in. And if it's not working, if what you're doing right now is not working for you, take some of these gems that she's given you and see how you can fit them in your life, apply them to your life, and see how you can shift and make transitions to a different space so that it can work out for you, so that you're not hitting your foot up against the wall, you're not falling off the track. Um, Building fortitude and understanding that if this purpose or this situation or business or whatever it is that you're in that's causing you stress, you want to jump off, listen to God's voice and see if this is where you're supposed to be. And if he's telling you, like you said, it's going to work out, then just trust him that it's going to work out. He's our ultimate leader. But trust that it's going to work out and don't jump ship. Sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes it can be challenging. All of that is designed to help you grow and build that muscle, that stick to itness. I heard that from a pastor a long time ago. You gotta have stick to itness. That means stick to it. So tell us, how can we stay in touch with you? How can we follow you? How can we support you in your business and your growth, whatever it is that you want to leave with us today?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us. The Heart of a Leader coming out very soon. You can find me, Mavis A. Creagh, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the same, Mavis A. Creagh. I do have a page on Facebook. I have an inspirational show every Sunday at 7, Walk by Faith, that I share different nuggets, just about 30 minutes, focus on the word. So please follow my page on that. Also, mavisacreagh.com. You can check me out on my website. I do have another book that's coming out actually next week. I'm the featured author of My Walk Past Hell, and I just talk about some journeys that I've been through and how I was able to overcome with the help of the Father. So I'm very thankful and grateful. So if you would like any copies of that, you can check out my website and see that as well. So thank you very much.
I didn't realize I was on mute. Give me the name of the book again.
My Walk Past Hell.
My Walk Past Hell. Oh my.
with the visionary author, Dr. Yolanda Jerry.
Okay. You all support her. Go to her website, Mavis A. Creagh, MAVISACREAGH.com. Go to her website, support her, purchase her products, follow her, and tune in every Sunday at 7 for Walk by Faith, where she's going to give you some more inspiration every week. And I know you can see that she's got a great and pure heart. Support this anthology, The Heart of a Leader. She has given you just her take on being a leader, an effective leader in the community, in the world, in your ministry. I know that she gave us just a tidbit of what she's written about in the book. So you want to get the book so that you can get details. She's going to give you many details so that it can help you change the trajectory of your life. All right, we have Miss Simene coming back on the screen. Miss Simene is a busy, busy woman. She's had so much to do today. We just thank you for being a part of the show today. We're not going to end unless you don't have anything else you want to, unless you want to share something. Miss Creagh, you can stay on if you want. Simene is going to share some more with us, whatever she wants to share from the book, and then ways to stay in touch with her as well.
Mavis, I want to say thank you. I knew you could hold it down, and I'm so thankful and grateful that you and Veronica was able to connect this morning. Like I told you, you're a leader in yourself. Like, you know how like you work and collaborate with people, and it's like, if I can't do it, I know that they got my back. And I knew that when you came on, it was gonna be good. So I was trying to hurry up and come back as fast as I could. So I am forever grateful to you, lady. You don't even know how thankful I am for you. So I'm gonna go back and listen to what you guys were saying, because I know you was dropping some more stuff. And Veronica, I know you're saying good things too. So Mavis, thank you so much. I pray many blessings over you as you travel today to receive your award in Mississippi. Veronica, follow Miss Mavis because she is doing some amazing. Mavis, can you tell the people about your award and the event you're gonna be at today?
I have forgot. It's the best of Mississippi. It's Business Empower Mississippi Chamber of Commerce is a biblical chamber, and even though it states Mississippi, it covers about 9 or 10 states. So people can become partners. But they're doing an award to recognize people who are advocating in different fields. So it's people throughout the state of Mississippi who will be awarded on today in Jackson. So I look forward to that, and I'm very thankful and honored. And thank you for reminding me, Miss Simone.
You welcome. So congratulations again.
Congratulations. How you just forget that? We would have led in with that one. Awesome job for you. Congratulations.
She's such a humble woman. It's like,
Yes.
she is such a humble woman. So I'm excited. Are y'all planning to go live, Mavis?
I think they are. I
Okay, so
think
if
they
you
are.
do, just
So,
share
so,
it.
so Simone, we're still on with everybody. So,
Okay.
so can you tell us what you've shared in the book, or um, and your thoughts on being an effective leader? Miss Creagh, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Miss Creagh, she gave us nuggets on being a novice leader, one who is building, and a seasoned leader. And you can choose any or all to share whatever you want to share in those spaces.
So I have my I have my title. But I don't know if it's gonna stick, so I don't want to actually, share it today. But one of the things I would share when it comes to being a leader, that there will be absolute times where you will have to lead, meaning you and Holy Spirit, he will give you something, you will go to him and you will have to make a decision. I do believe in collaborating. I do believe in working with people, but there will be absolutely times where you will have to make a decision as the leader. Everybody won't understand it. Everybody won't like it, but you'll have to make sure that you are in line with God. Just as with the project, with the title itself, and then going from Maryland to Mississippi, that was a decision that I had to make based on what he told me. So for those who were not a part, who did not live in Maryland or Mississippi, I couldn't go and consult them and say, hey, what you think about this? It just had to be, this is what it is, and this is what we're going to go with it. So you absolutely have to lead. And as a leader, you have to be a good follower. I believe you have to be submitted to people. You have to have other people over you who can kind of see and watch, because if they have led before you, or they have leading in the area longer than you, sometimes they can see some of the things and they can say, hey, let me speak to you about this, or have you ever considered doing it this way? And so when we are corrected, and sometimes it don't always feel good, you don't always like it, but when you are corrected, you have to take those moments and say, okay, where have I missed it here, and where can I go back and fix it? And sometimes when people try to correct you, sometimes it's not even out of love, or it's not even the right way. It's just they see you doing something, they feel like that's it. And sometimes you have to go back to God and say, God, well, all the times you go back to God and say, guys, this what you want me to do, because these are the suggestions that I'm getting. These are the things that, I need help on. And then sometimes you will pray and say, God, listen, I need help in, XYZ area. And then somebody will come and they will say something to you, or you'll read something, or you'll catch somebody doing something. You see them doing, he says, that's the part that I needed. And so always stay teachable, be able to take correction and rebuke from other people. You'll have to have thick skin, because again, everybody is not going to like it, right? They may say things to you that you don't agree with. They may try to defame your name for stuff that they don't agree with, that's not necessarily true. And so you have to develop that thick skin. Now, some more, and those are all practical things, I believe, but more other practical things. If you're going to be a leader, you got to make sure that you honor what you say you're going to do. You have to be integral in your walk. If you say that you're going to do XYZ, if you don't, for whatever reason, make sure you communicate that to people. Make sure that you are letting people know exactly the direction and where you guys are going. Because like when I said what John Maxwell said, if you a leader and nobody's following, you just taking a walk. And a lot of times that because the vision is not clear. If people don't know the vision, if they don't know the direction in which you're going, they will not be able to get there. I think about, I will say, as leaders, is almost kind of like a GPS, right? You know the destination, but now you have to outline the steps to help people get there. You may not know all 15 or 20 steps, but I got these first two. So let's knock out these first two, and then we'll get the other steps as we go. And sometimes you may have the big picture. Some people are big picture people, right? And they need other people to kind of break it down in small steps to say, this is now how we're going to get there. When it comes to like leading in education, because you guys know I teach school, right? Don't worry about the title. A lot of times people are looking for titles, especially with teachers, to make them feel validated. If you need a title to make you feel validated, there's some more inner work, there's some more soul work that you got to do, because a title doesn't make you. When I think about evaluations, teachers get a lot of anxiety when it's time for evaluations, right? Because now you have your principal, your administrator, your assistant principal coming to observe you, and they find high levels of anxiety because now this person is about to critique me. And if you can't handle critique, and if critique makes you second guess your whole entire being, then there's a deeper work that needs to be done. And so don't get all flustered when people are coming to evaluate or to critique you. You take what you need, and then you fix and you modify as you need to go. And so that's a couple things.
That's a whole lot of things. Be submitted to other leadership. That is important. Sometimes we feel like we have to go it alone. And once we are leaders, then nobody else can tell us anything. And no, you always need someone else that you can go to. There's always someone else who has done more or who can help you. And you can't be afraid or too prideful to think that you've got this. No, we don't. We all need to develop. When you get perfect, that's when you leave. But until then, know that there's always someone else to go to. Remain teachable. Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm not even going to add to it. I love it. Take correction. That is so hard. Correction and critiques. It can be so hard. And you have to be really humble to be able to take correction and know that it is coming from a good place. and to help you and to fine tune your life and where you're going. Have thick skin. I'm developing thick skin.
Me too. Hey, Veronica, I'll say one more thing before you keep going.
Yes.
Like,
Uh,
what I found that correction and critique has been harder for me, especially when it's been done publicly. That's a whole different thing when there's a public correction of something you did in private. And it's like, well, and I don't know if people do it because it's like, I'm going to make you the example. I want people to see XYZ, XYZ. But that has been the hardest thing for me is that public correction. And it's like, man, maybe I deserved it. Maybe I didn't, but I don't like it.
I think if you've done something privately, then it should be, you should be addressed in private, because it can lead to a whole myriad of things afterwards. It can lead to a person shutting down, aborting the blessing, the purpose, the process. It can lead to them, like, their whole self-esteem being destroyed. You just don't know what it can do to a person when you try to correct them publicly. No, no. Now, if it involved another person, then bring the other person in privately, but don't do it and embarrass that other person. You just don't know what it would do to them. You don't know what it would do to them. And I asked my daughter, and I use her as an example all the time because it's just me and her. How would you feel if someone did this to you? So ask yourself how would you feel? Now, some people don't care, but you can't just do that to people. You can crush them. You can crush them.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, that was it.
Be honorable and integral. And you don't need a title to be a leader or to be valued. That's so important. We can't tie our titles to who we are as individuals. And that's like, sometimes I ask my clients, who are you? And I asked that question because it was asked of me years ago. Who are you? And I was like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and this. No, 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 no. Who are you in here? And it's not just, oh, I'm the Better Days coach and I'm this person, I'm a life coach. No, I'm a good person. I'm a loving person. I'm a kind person. Those are my qualities. Those are my titles because that's what I want to emulate. And so it's important that we don't tie our self-worth to those titles. Don't tie your self-worth to those titles. So anyway, I'm not going to keep you all long. I know Miss Mavis has got to get down to wherever she's got to go to get her award. I'm so proud of you. I don't even know you. I'm excited for you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so very much for making time for us today to share with us, teaching us all how to be leaders and not just the mechanics of it, but what's in your heart. I thank you so much. And for working with my friend Simene to make this possible. We appreciate you. Simene, thank you so much for being a part of today. Yes, I was telling Mavis I was in her shoes last year doing the same thing, and it's so exciting. So I know what it's like to have your project out there and get it exposed. So everybody that is watching, follow Mavis Creagh. Make sure you stay tuned for the release of The Heart of a Leader so that you can purchase it. Simene, if they're going to be pre-sales, make sure you tag me on all of it so that everyone watching the replay can get this book. Coffee, Tea, and Me is every second and fourth Saturday of the month. If you have any ideas that you want us to talk about, either in the private Facebook or Coffee, Tea, and Me sessions, or you have a project that helps other people, helps other women grow, reach out to me and I'll be happy to talk with you so that we can get you featured on Coffee, Tea, and Me. You can follow me everywhere. I'm on here, Veronica Burnett. My private Facebook group is the Better Days private group. So you'll have to request to be added to that group. You can find me on veronicaburnett.com or betterdays.llc on Instagram. If you go to my website, you can find everything you need right there. Schedule an appointment. I have a 90-minute clarity session that I'm doing now. So some people just want to hit it and quit it, hit the ground running. Yeah, that's what we help with. So that is all I have for today. Anybody have any closing words? Simene, did you say where to follow you and find you?
You can just, you see this name right here. Go find Simene Walden or find the student teacher page and you can join me. You can follow me. Any of those places, I'm Simene Walden on all social media platforms. So LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and yeah, that's about. So y'all go and follow. So stay tuned for more of information about the heart of a leader. But Miss Mavis, I'm pointing y'all to go follow Miss Mavis. One thing about being a heart of a leader is that you also have to be, again, a servant to give. And sometimes that causes giving you of your time, rearranging things. You know, sometimes it can be inconvenient. And so, Mavis, again, I thank you so much for, being up here representing Mississippi, holding it down for Mississippi today. So I appreciate it so much. So Veronica, thank you again. You have been a blessing to me, you and sweet baby Shelby. So thank you so much for being a leader in your own right. I think you did an amazing job for your first live coffee, tea, and me. And so if you're not joining her, make sure you join her. Make sure you sign up for what she has going on. Tuesday, we have an event. It's called My Tears Are Tied, the bounce back after the setback. And Miss Veronica Burnett is our very first speaker who's going to open up that night with what's your title, Veronica? I don't want to say it wrong.
What's in your duffel bag?
What's in your duffel bag? What have you been carrying around? I told her last night I'm probably going to be dumping some stuff out on Tuesday as she's talking. So thank you again for the opportunity for us to come on today and to share. For those of you who are watching, share it with your friends, share it to a page. You never know how what one of them have said is going to bless you, or even something that I've said has blessed you. Anybody's interested in writing a bonus chapter or being a sponsor for the book, if you have some leadership programs or things you're doing, you can contact me. You can send me a DM and I'll get you the information about that. We're no longer accepting any Maryland or Mississippi authors, but you can have a bonus chapter, which will be 500 words. So let me know if you're interested in that. And again, Veronica, thank you so much for the opportunity today to spend a little time with you on Coffee, Tea, and Me.
You all are so welcome. This was exciting because, like she said, this was my first time doing this live, and I'm excited because I had people that shared it. And my sister-in-law, yes, I'm shouting you out, Miss Sheila Scales. She says, "I appreciate y'all for sharing. This means a lot." She is this she is an entrepreneur and she's always got these great ideas. So follow her on Instagram at Mrs. Scales. I don't know, Mrs. Scales something. Find Sheila Scales on there. You'll find her. And she has these waist beads and she's coming out with a t-shirt line. And she's just got a wonderful creative mind and such a beautiful spirit. And I'm just so thankful. When she got married and when they got married, my brother and she got married, I told my brother that was one of the best Christmas gifts he could ever give me was my sister-in-law. So
Sweet.
yes. So yes, I shout you out, Miss Sister-in-law. Anyway, ladies, I'm going to let you go. Thank you all for being a part of today. And I will see you on the second Saturday in May. All right.
All right. Thank y'all. Bye, Mavis. Bye.